We have a misguided idea of the sense of being an individual with a story that lives in time. The idea of our past, our memories, our experiences, who we believe we are, our name, our age, our journey through life is all illusionary. This doesn't exist in essence. It is a story that we live and breathe and become that colours our reality. And if it colours it in a positive way, then so be it. But often, unfortunately, we suffer in that world because in that world we are led to believe that we are in danger, that we don't want change, that we want to stay safe, and that the future holds nothing but fear and trepidation. And we become encapsulated in a never-ending cycle of suffering and fear, a limited perspective that closes us down to the infinite potential that is our true nature. That infinite potential is our essential nature. That's the essence of who we are. That's the absolute, the world of being itself. But we miss out on that because we see through the filter of the story of you, the story of me. We live through our stories. Our stories are an accumulation of the past that is formed a personality within us that informs us in every area of our life. And so we see through that filter. We do not see what is happening. We do not hear what is being said. We see a version of that. We hear a version of that based on our constructed identity. And so we miss what is happening. That constructed identity lives in fear. The ego is desperately trying to hold on to an illusion, a dream of separation, the idea that you are in control, that the future needs to be taken care of in the present moment by worry and by planning and by control. The minute you start to see through that, that is the liberation, that is the enlightened way of being, and nothing really changes, but everything changes, because then you're still in the present moment, except you see it for the first time. It's not blocked. It's not overlaid by fear and worry and concern. You're present. In this silence, there is presence. And you don't have to find that. It will reveal itself when you realize that you've been living through the story of you, which is a false, constructed filter that separates you from what is happening. And so you live in two illusionary worlds, what we call the past and the future, both of which bring suffering. And that suffering is optional. It's not necessary. You don't have to buy into that. And so self-enquiry is just questioning what is true and seeing what is false. And what is false, you can identify because it will be negative, it will be stopping you, it will be blocking you, it will be creating a sense of fear, a sense of being not good enough or lacking in some way. Anything that brings that negativity is the false self, that's the ego, the constructed identity, the thing that just runs in the background on top of what is our true essence, which is effortless awareness, effortless being, being present. And that is overlaid by this background script that runs, that is me, my name, my story, my weaknesses, my lack, the fact that I'm broken and I can't fix it. And therefore I can resort to the whirlwind of emotions, and I can thrash out against the unfairness in the world, the lack of justice, the idea that I'm thrown into this world with lack and limitation and can't achieve the happiness that I was promised or that I was led to believe existed. So rather than chase that happiness, that dream in the external world, recognize that all that is false, everything that pursues that idea of happiness in the external world and has the idea of happiness being a result of material gains is illusionary. That is the world of suffering. And so you turn that focus 180 degrees and you look within. And you look to see what is false. And in revealing what is false, the story of you, the truth of your being is allowed to breathe, and that is effortless being, and that is the present moment. And that is the only place that we ever experience, here and now. We don't live anywhere else. And when the mind goes to the future or the past with negativity, recognize that that is the story and that is what is false, and burn that away. You don't need to add anything to yourself. Just recognize what is false. Continually contemplate on what is dragging you down into the world of negative thinking. And become aware of that through contemplation throughout the day. Watch yourself. See how easily you descend into hell. And as that burns away, your true nature will reveal itself, and that is simplicity. That is the ever-present moment. That is effortless awareness, being, that is right now, available to you, here, in this silent mind.